All right, let's do some Mathity-Math. Now, this video is picking up from the previous video, so if you see all this, you're like, oh my gosh, where'd that come from? Don't freak out. Just go to the other video, and you can see what all we did. But in essence, in the previous video, we identified our first term, and we identified our rate. We're going to be using those same things. We're having a different question type. Whereas in the last question, it said find the sum of the k. Now they're saying, well, just find what term would give me that value. Okay, so that's all it's saying. So real quick, let me just kind of come down here. From the previous video, we did establish that use of 1 is 3. And from the previous video, we also established that r is 1/8. And so then all we have to do now is go to our formula booklet. We're going to be using this formula right here. U sub n is u sub 1 times the rate to the n minus 1. And again, in this case, they're using k, but no big deal. We can just use k's instead of n's. Okay, so here we go. So the formula we're using is u sub k is u sub 1 multiplied by the rate to the n minus 1. Okay, so now we just plug in. Instead of u sub k, I have 3 over 4,096. I'll just write that right there. That's the first substitution. Instead of u sub 1, I'll put in a 3. Okay. Instead of r, shoop, I put in an 8th. And then it just says n minus 1. All right. So my goal is to get, oh, you know what? I said k. Excuse me. K minus 1. So I want to get to that k. And the way I get to that k, I first have to take care of everything over here getting in the way. So we have, if you could think of it, if you want to think of it like that, we have two pieces we're playing with here. So this says I'm multiplying by 3. Well, the opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. And let's see what happens here. Maybe we'll get a nice number. So we have 3 divided by 4096. That's that fraction. Don't worry about that. We're going to divide that by 3. Let's see if we get a nice fraction. If not, we'll rethink how we want to go about this. Ah, it does. It comes out nice. And that makes sense, right? If we divide it by 3, those 3's would cancel. So now, if we divide both sides by 3, we'll just be left with 1 over 4,096 equals an 1/8 to the k minus 1. All right. So we are well along in the process. But now what we have to do is we need to get this variable out of the exponent. And the way we do that, just like we did before, we do that with logarithms. You can kind of look over here. It's the same idea, right? When you have a situation where your variable's in the exponent, you can take the log and it kind of brings the whole thing over and down. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the log of this side. I'll just write it like this. Log. Okay, that's that. Do it to one side, you do it to the other. I'll really run this out so we can be clear. Let's do that. Okay? Now this log, what this does is it lets this whole piece up in the exponent swing on down to the front. So now it's going to look like this. And let's think of it like that. That'll help us. Okay, so now we have these two pieces. And you can see, well, I need to get to here. And the way I get to here is by moving this or getting rid of this. So this is multiply by log 1/8. Well, the opposite of multiplying by log 1/8 is dividing by log 1/8. So I'm going to divide by log 1/8. I actually divide this side by log 1/8, and those would cancel. Okay, I'm going to draw a new line. We're almost there. So essentially what we have here is log over 4,096, 1 over 4,096 divided by log 1/8 is equal to k minus 1. Well, how do I get k by itself? Well, I just add 1 to both sides. So really what we have here is the log of 1 over 4,096, right, divided by the log of an 1/8, that whole thing right there, adding 1 to it, right, so I'm adding 1, gives me k. And that should give me the k value. So I'm just going to plug all this into my calculator. Let's see what happens, okay? So here we go. Step 1. I'm going to do the step-by-step So even if we're not the best at our calculator work, we can really see the process. I say log, okay? 1 divided by 4,096. I'm going to close my parentheses. I'm actually going to hit enter. There you go. That's what that is. Keep it going. Divide by what? Well, that's just log 1 divided by 8. Okay, hit enter. 4. Now I just got to do what? That's what we know. All of this is 4, so now it's just 4 plus 1. If you don't have to do this, but 4 plus 1, it's 5, and there you go. You know that K is 5. And what that's telling you is that the fifth term in the sequence is 3 over 4,096, and that's it. You are done. Good job. There's more practice questions coming, so stay tuned, go to the next video, and we'll keep moving. Good job. Bye.